plan they thought was smart, to confuse and to distract and break a good man's heart. Bram and his wicked crew, they step up on the shore feeling like they got the truth, but they just want much more. A mission to mislead on South African ground, but the truth is a lion and the lie's gonna be unbound. Oh, the Lion Dutchman, yeah, he come a long, long way to tell his wicked stories and darken up the day. He tell a lie to get inside, invade the space of all, but the righteous stand up tall and refuse to take the fall. The Lion Dutchman, his story feels so weak, just a nuisance to himself with the tall tales that he speaks. He came right to the airport where the refugees wait in line, sticking camera in their face, transgressing all the time. He traveled length and breadth, from the mountain to the sea, trying to discredit Donald Trump and the land of liberty. Rocked up uninvited to the Colonial's big affair in Pretoria at the meet and greet, with mischief in the air. Tell a lie about the president, he whisper with a grin, but the Colonel got character and he knows where to begin. Oh, the Lion Dutchman, yeah, he come a long, long way to tell his wicked story and darken up the day. He tell a lie to get inside, invade the space of all, but the righteous stand up tall and refuse to take the fall. The Lion Dutchman, his story feels so weak, just a nuisance to himself with the tall tales that he speaks. He tried to set the trap, yeah, he tried to lift his bait, but the Colonel would not bend, man, so he sealed his own sad fate. Cut the truth right out the footage, like Lenny Reef and Stall. He wants a fairy tale picture, but the camera cannot lie at all. He bamboozled the big farmer, say he got an appointment, see, but he got balderdash. That's no reality. But listen what the breeze said, listen to the news spread wide. The people keep on coming where the golden gates abide. They're coming to America, land of the free, you see. No power in the world can stop their destiny. So take your tired stories, Lion Dutchman, and go home. Yeah, your season is over, you can reap the wind you sow.
Yeah, it's the 16th of December. The sun is high, the waves are blue, while everybody's chilling in Bolito. Someone's got something else to do. Down in Durban, they're soaking up the spray. It's a holiday, baby, reconciliation day. Nobody's at the office, nobody's on the clock, except for the agents heading down the block. They're swarming through the hallways, looking for a file, losing all the rhythm, losing all the style. In a wood-made office, the air turns cold. A story's being written that's already getting old. Demanding every paper, searching for a name. Intimidation is the spirit of the game. They said, where are the Americans? We need them in a row. But then they changed the script for the midday show. It was the raid on wood-made under a summer sky, a holiday hustle, a convenient little lie. They said, Hakuna Matata, don't you be afraid. We only want the canyons, it was quite the masquerade. Oh, the raid on wood-made relations take a home affairs is talking fast, trying to make a holiday work ethic really last. The public's looking sideways, the logic doesn't flow. Working on a Friday, on a holiday, no. Was the KFC closed? Was there nothing left to eat? Is that why the uniforms are out on the street? Somebody doxed a diplomat, his secrets on the loose. Now Washington is tightening the diplomatic news. Beijing says it wasn't me. Washington says we shall see. A stumble, a tumble, a diplomatic crack. Once you cross that line, there's no turning back. No turning back. It was the raid on Woodmead under a summer sky. A holiday hustle, a convenient little lie. They said Hakuna Matata, don't you be afraid. We only want the Kenyans, it was quite the masquerade. Oh, the raid on Woodmead, relations take a fall. Building up the tension, building up the wall. Summer sky, a holiday hustle, a convenient little lie. They said, Hakuna Matata, don't you be afraid. We only want the Kenyans, was quite the masquerade. Oh, the raid on with me, relations take a fall. Building up the tension, building up the wall. Check the calendar. Reconciliation doesn't feel like it in Woodmead. Keep your papers ready, mate. Hakuna Matata. Right? From Kuden Bed.
Marvin Devine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Welcome back, folks, on the penultimate day before Christmas. Next to last day, yes. Welcome back. It's December 23rd, 2025, here on Chris Wyatt Reports, the Indaba Africa program. Let's listen in the sound check. Reports, the Indaba Africa. Sounds pretty good. Hey, Hakuna Matata, don't you worry none. It's only the Kenyans we want. Quite a masquerade. Indeed, the raid on Woodmead was quite a masquerade, pretending to be an operation to get illegals out. In fact, we've got lots of disinformation, misinformation today to talk to you about. So sit back, relax, pop open a little soft drink or alcoholic beverage if it's the right time of day for you, or whatever you want. Enjoy yourselves. It's time for your daily dose, your daily indoctrination. Well, that's the wrong word. Inoculation's the word. I got one of those South African U.S. government faux pas there. I said indoctrination. I meant to say inoculation, your inoculation, your jab, your protection against misinformation, disinformation, hyperbole, outright lying, and all the BS that's out there that comes from around the world, folks. Let's get into it. Neff just says, early Christmas birthday gift, Colonel. Thanks for what you do, what you mean to all of us. I wish you great prosperity and success. I look up to you as a mentor and inspiration for the best I can in my life. Well, Neff, that's very kind of you. Thank you for 350 Rand. That's a high standard to live up to. I hope I do live up to that standard. Some of the Ferrayas would disagree, but, that's all right. People who betray you shouldn't have your trust, so let's ignore them. All right. They had to avoid 1 million Zimbabweans to get to... That's right. Excuse me. Could the Somalis get out of the way, please? Get the Somalis out of here. None of these Congolese, please move. Ethiopians to the side. Just go to KFC. Go to Chicken Licken. We must get to the Kenyans. We want the Kenyans. Quick, find the Americans. We want the Kenyans. Get the documents. We want the Kenyans. Get the register. Okay, yeah, there's nothing to see here, folks. It's nothing to see here. It's the raid on Woodmead. Welcome back. All right, let's get into the news, ladies and gentlemen. My arm is still killing me here. It's been a month and a half. Oh, must have been too many bar brawls. Anyway, let's get with it. Okay, so... Yes, the Kenyans were in the country legally, which is something Cockprot24 keeps false reporting. We're going to talk a little bit about Peter Dutoy and Cockprot24 and what they're up to. By the way, now they're attacking Rob Hersoff, claiming he was in the Epstein files. So was the Pope? All right, daily dose of abuse of chill. Huh? Who's abusing chill? Not me, Pedro. All right, let's get to it. South Africa continues to lead the continent in massive wealth. Yes, some very wealthy folks in South Africa. Not me, not you. I don't know who all these people are. But South Africa leads Africa in total wealth as millionaires in markets and metros drive growth. South Africa has reaffirmed its position as Africa's wealthiest country after apparently surpassing Nigeria again. Crippykind, 140 rand. Thank you so much. President Trump is bringing back battleships. He is. He's bringing back battleships. Clouds are gathering. Crippy, is it like Crippen? That's a joke. Only folks in the UK would get Crippen. Yes. South Africa remains Africa's richest country by total wealth, leading the continent with a GDP of 410 billion. I just saw someone claim it's 462 billion. See, I know the numbers are all bogus. 41,000 millionaires and 8 billionaires, according to Henley and Partners. According to Statistica's 2025 GDP comparison, South Africa ranks first on the continent with an estimated GDP of $410 billion, which is smaller than most American states. Smaller than most American states. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Congratulations, South Africa, on amassing wealth. Let's talk about our friend at News 24, Peter du Toit, the man demonically obsessed with telling fairy tales and misleading. This is a news outlet that has at least 6 times, I believe, this past year been forced to apologize for reporting fake news, slandering, and mischaracterizing events. Slandering people. There is sound. There's nothing wrong with here. Sound is on your end. You need to refresh your channel. Everyone else has sound. Everyone else has sound. Let's go back to that. Everyone else has sound. Everyone else has sound. Hey, there's the sound. Let's go back to that. Everyone else has sound. See, there's the sound. We get an echo because it keeps playing the same thing. Sound is fine. You need to refresh your thing. People with internet problems always telling me the problem's on my end. If it's on my end, I'll let you know. All right. So, sorry, I just got locked up there. Peter du Toit, yes, the genius over at News 24, wants to share with us so many things on his Twitter account. Disinformation follows a clear pattern. Yes, it comes from News 24, consisting of 2 stages and 4 steps. Narratives are seeded by building disinfo story, reinforced by echo chambers before it's amplified by crisis. Malicious super spreaders then distribute the narrative before the lie is normalized. The malicious super spreader, of course, is Peter du Toit and his cockprot publication. For instance, this one here. Beware of disinfo and malignant actors. Kenyans working in the Afrikaner refugee program at a non-diplomatic site were here illegally. No American officials arrested, and there's no evidence of harassment of refugees. Well, frankly, Peter du Toit, that is misinformation. You are the merchant of misinformation. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to hand out this year's Academy Award goes to the merchant of misinformation, one Peter du Toit from Cockprot 24. Let's just see. Disinformation. Afrikaner refugee program. Hey, shithead, it's not Afrikaner. It's for South Africans, racial minorities. Misinformation number 1. At a non-diplomatic site. Wrong. Employees of an embassy who have diplomatic protections are doing diplomatic work wherever they're at, and they're working officially. It doesn't matter whether it's a diplomatic site. So that's distractionary misinformation, shithead. Number 3, illegally. Wrong. They enter the country perfectly legally. They applied for a different visa after being there. It was denied. They applied again. It was denied. And in your own story, you admit that they didn't even send the information to the Americans or to the Kenyans, Peter dipshit. Yes. Sorry for the profanity this morning, folks, but some people warrant that thing. No American officials arrested. Not germane. Red herring. Distraction. Look over here. American officials were detained. That's illegal. American officials were detained. They were harassed. Their documents were copied and then spread over the internet. So you can lie all you want, merchant of misinformation. And there's no evidence of harassment of refugees. Really? Really? No evidence? I've got dozens of messages from refugees on the day that it occurred, as it went down after they got back their cars and got their phones. Many of them immediately contacted me. We got people all over the world that can testify to this. No evidence because you don't want to look for it because you're the master of misinformation. Wow. Our Mampara of the year, I thought might be Cyril Ramaphosa, but at this rate, it's going to be Peter du Toit from News 24. The Sona interview. This isn't the Sona interview. This is not the Mike Sham program, folks. So let's continue. Peter du Toit. Here's another piece of garbage from him. Colleague Creel and AfriForum are vassals of the Trump administration and their statements on the extension of the U.S. government's policies and ideology. They believe impairing American positions and should therefore be considered malignant domestic actors. You are a cancer on South African society. What evidence do you have of that? It's your opinion, which is poorly informed. You have the intellectual capacity of a 7-year-old. A 7-year-old. And I think that's being generous. There's your disinformation. And here's another disinformation story. Watch this. Let me show you how the fake news, the merchants of smear, the misinformation merchants at News 24, just lied to you right in the same article. You ready for this? Here we go. U.S. Refugee Center, in quotes again, illegal Kenyan workers ignored repeated visa rejections. They're not illegal. They're not illegal. And it is a refugee center. So right down here, they tell you, if I can find it, the last notice of adverse decision regarding the rights of a person was sent to them on 11 December. The last notice on 11 December was sent to them. Okay. So they're saying the South African government communicated to them that their request for a different type of visa was rejected, the final rejection. Okay, that's fair. But where did they send it to? Did they give it to the Kenyans? To who they knew where they were, by the way, because the U.S. government told them where they were. The U.S. government told them about the site. They knew where the location was. We had a sting operation. A sting? You need a sting to discover a place that was disclosed to the South African government? Why do you need a sting? Why do you need inside intelligence? You can't even figure out who the criminals are in your own party, but you can get inside information on a refugee center that's openly disclosed to the South African government for people who receive visas to enter the country legally and applied for a different visa once in the country? And you need a sting operation for that? Seriously? A sting operation? Michelle to love the dance. Thank you. That was a while ago. You were behind in the scene. Thank you very much for the super chat. All right. So the last notice went out. The last applications were lodged at the South African High Commission, Nairobi, on October 30th, 2025. So their last applications were lodged in Nairobi. So where did you send the notice? Where did you send the notice? If it was Nairobi, they're in South Africa. How are they supposed to get that? Sorry, telekinesis, something like that. Must be how they're supposed to find out. Yeah. CIA contacts. Yeah, I don't have any CIA contacts. They don't like me. All right, so here's some more merchants of misinformation. This guy appeared on a program recently. New collab with Peter Creel. What a phenomenal conversation on his Crossfire podcast. The future of Mzansi looks hopeful and positive with people like Peter. Decoloniality. What the hell? Heinz says, what did you collab on? Peter's mom's breast milk sample? Stuck in. Oh, dear God. When you quote Leo Tolstoy, you know you got a problem. Tolstoy. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. Thank you, William Wheeler, for your membership upgrade. Appreciate that. Thank you for the super chats, folks. They do not feel guilty for creating false. No, they don't. Oh, my. News 24. These guys just like that because he didn't apply as refugees. Exactly. You're welcome. So let's get past Peter DeToy and get to some actual news. He lived life fully. The assassination of DJ Warris. Friends and family gathered for his funeral as arrests were made. He was shot dead on December 16th outside the Zambezi building, Joburg's central business district. It's an 8-story block of flats where his company, Imperium Ops, was contracted to provide security services. During Tuesday's service, a close friend of more than 30 years delivered a heartfelt eulogy, but didn't introduce himself by name. We come together in faith, in love, and in remembrance to honor the life of Warwick Robert Stock, a son, a father, a brother, a friend, and a man who meant so much to so many. He loved deeply, he challenged thinking, he told stories that connected us and brought people together, and always to his true self. And 2 arrests have been made in the assassination of DJ Warris. Will something come of it, or are they just convenient scapegoats? I don't know. Fanny Masemola reports that a case has been opened up against the massive biceps of this amazing politician. Yes, Miss Thunder. National Police Commissioner General Fanny Masemola has confirmed that B2 local municipality deputy mayor Nokuzolo Koapi, who was filmed firing shots in the air, will face consequences for her actions. She won't. Why will she face consequences? Julius Malema endangered public safety almost a decade ago. He's yet to pay a price for it. Berto, 350, please compose a song for Cockprod 24. Ooh, and roll off for cons. That would be good. Let me write a note down about that. We'll make it, but it's going to have to be very difficult how I do that. Cock. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yes. So what's going to happen to her? Nothing. Malema still hasn't been charged or been penalized for his actions. He's been convicted now, but not penalized. Now, according to Peter Fabricius, several countries have stepped up to stand up for South Africa. That means the countries that did that believe in racial inequality, believe in racism, believe in quotas, believe in oppression, believe in suppression of free speech, believe in the ignorance of HIV. These are people who believe that it's okay to steal as long as you're black. That's who these countries are. Germany, the European Union, other countries step forward asking the United States to let South Africa participate in the G20. A country whose economy is ranked 39th in the world, 39th in the world, yet somehow magically finds itself in the G20. Why? Because of white liberal guilt. Yeah, people who had nothing to do with apartheid or the settlement of South Africa feel guilty for what happened there. Why? What kind of morons are you? Feel guilty for your own actions in your own country that you've partaken in your lifetime. Don't worry about what other people have done in the past. That's not your responsibility. Several G20 members privately objected to the U.S. excluding South Africa. Well, thank you, Peter Fabricius, for this interesting story. He's got a source, and of course, none other than the German ambassador to South Africa. Remember, there's no oppression here. We went to Oktoberfest in Johannesburg. There was Eisbein and beer and lots of fun. We had a good time at the Eisfest. Yeah, we were in Johannesburg and we had such a sick heil. Oh, sorry, you cannot do that anymore. No, we were in Johannesburg, where we had the Eisbein and the beer and lots of fun. Oh, viel Spaß. This was very exciting. Viel Spaß, but no oppression. No oppression. We see no oppression. No, stop. Halt. Nein. Ja, we had lots of fun in Johannesburg mit the Eisbein. Yeah, Eisbein. Oh, that makes it all better. The farmers who complain, they're full of mad. Oh, no, that is French. We cannot say French. No, they're full of Scheiße. Yeah, the farmers are full of Scheiße. Yes, they're not being killed. We were at Oktoberfest. Come with the Eisbein and the beer. We have lots of fun. Oh, the farms. Who cares about the farms? Jawohl, ja. Oh, yeah, Eisbein, yeah. Oh, good stuff. Eisbein, yeah, good for the Bauch. Ja, ja, ich stimme zu, ja. Eisbein? Seriously? Beer? Oktoberfest? No persecution? That guy's a joke to himself. He's an embarrassment to himself. Mr. Peshka. Yes. A source said the European Union, the African Union, Germany, France, the UK, China, Canada, Brazil, and several others had all told U.S. Sherpas that South Africa should be in the G20. So, the European Union believes in oppression by race. The African Union believes in racial oppression. Germany believes in racial oppression. France, UK, China, Canada, and Brazil all believe that people should be oppressed racially. They do. They're all in favor of that. And several others. Well, there aren't many others. There's only 20 members of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's almost half. So what's several others? A lot of people around the table were expressing concerns, some more subtly than others, but there was very clear support for having South Africa at the table because everyone said that it's important to include all members. The G20's strength lies in its diversity. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Walmart is bigger than South Africa. Walmart is bigger in sales than South Africa's GDP. Are you serious? I guess. Seriously. NVIDIA is worth more than South Africa's GDP. It's $1 trillion company. It's worth twice. NVIDIA, a graphics processing company based in America, is worth twice the GDP of South Africa. Yeah, no. Diversity is our strength. Ja, wohl, sicher. Diversity. Yeah, thank you very much for that. Yeah. Here he is. Andreas Peshka. Yes. Yeah, the Eisbein and the beer was fantastic. Ja, ja, the Eisbein. Wir waren in Johannesburg, wir had the Eisbein. Ja, Eisbein. Eisbein. Can't eat that stuff, man. How about a schnitzel? Be a real German. Eat some schnitzel, buddy. Eat some schnitzel. Just saying. Oh, was you ready for some more fake news? You ready, ladies and gentlemen? The Telegraph. The United Kingdom's leftist toilet paper, The Telegraph. Yes, here we go. Illegal migrants employed to hand out U.S. visas to white Afrikaners. South Africa to deport 7 Kenyans working illegally at U.S.-run asylum center. So much wrong with that statement. First off, they were not illegal migrants. They were lawfully entered visa holders, number one. Number two, they don't hand out visas. Number three, they weren't white Afrikaners. And number four, it's not an asylum center. In the opening headline of this cockprot story from Ben Farmer, their African correspondent who clearly doesn't know shit about Africa, there are already 4 lies. 4 lies in the title alone. 4 lies in the title alone. 4 lies. Just outright lies. They're not illegal. They entered legally. They just have a work permit. They were working without a work permit. That's illegal, but they're not illegal migrants. That's a different status. They enter the country legally, perfectly legal. They were not handing out visas. That's bullshit. And they weren't giving it to white Afrikaners. That's bullshit. And the U.S. Asylum Center, it's not an asylum center. This is what passes for journalism in the 21st century. All lies. Look, this isn't I'm not quibbling. I'm not saying, well, your opinion's different than my opinion. I think this is going to happen. No. I'm simply factually telling you the lies, the outright lies, blatant lies. This is a paper that should be sanctioned. People like this should not be allowed to operate. You should not be allowed to blatantly lie to the public like this. You should be shut down. No business should be like CNN's misinformation, white genocide. What a complete travesty of facts. Well, MK Party now, after having its 36 buffoons suspended from the provincial legislature, as should have happened, now threatens legal action. Well, their feelings are hurt, so they're going to threaten legal action. Yes. MK Party threatens legal action after KZN legislature suspends 36 members. MK Party has threatened legal action against KwaZulu-Natal legislature speaker Nontembeko Nontemba Boyce following suspensions. Why? Why are they threatening legal action? They're buffoons. They're criminals. They committed criminal acts. They should be in prison. Instead, they want to file legal action. This is abuse of the courts. Where are you getting your marching orders from? The Democrats? Is that the deal? Do you know that they filed 575 lawsuits as of 2 weeks ago against the U.S. government since January? 575 lawsuits. The vast majority of them is simply a waste of time and money. No merit to them whatsoever. Most have no standing. And this is what they're doing here. These people belong in jail, not filing these. The acting police dude, minister, Kachalia, says policing is not in crisis. Dude, what planet are you on? Do you live in South Africa? Firoz Kachala says policing in South Africa is not in crisis, noting declining crime levels while acknowledging ongoing challenges. Do you live in South Africa? I'm sorry. Do you live in South Africa? Hell, could somebody wake this guy up? Maybe he hangs out with Mr. Rupert, with his windows open, feeling perfectly safe in Western Cape. The police are not in crises. All of your senior leadership is implicated in murder, gangsters, corruption, theft. Never mind the fact that nobody responds when you call the police. Or that you doctor statistics. It was a house robbery. No, it was an attempted murder which led to murder. It was trespassing. It was theft. It was a home invasion. It was torture. Seriously? Do you know why most people don't know the difference between a refugee and asylum seeker, Chugsy? Because of fake media and poor educational standards. Declining crime levels. This guy's smoking something. You see, folks, when people Zol, they put the paper on the Zol. And then they roll that Zol. And then they share the Zol. Buffoons are subspecies. Thank you, 40 Rand. I didn't know that. No vehicles, police selling their firearms, renting their firearms out to gangsters. Give me a break. Well, the city of Cape Town faces a backlash according to the Daily Shitbird. I'm sorry. Some of you know that as the Daily Maverick, the home of Rebecca Davis. Yes, the Daily Maverick. Yes, they're saying that there's a backlash over the wall. Well, I have a backlash. Why don't you just crack down on crime instead of putting on slightly the wall up? Better yet, why don't you rip down all those informal settlements that are embarrassing when you drive out of the airport? City of Cape Town's proposed 180 million rand wall along the N2 to the Cape Town National Airport has been met with fierce opposition over claims of a lack of public participation. The city plans to build the wall in the next financial year following several stone attacks on motorists by stone-throwing robbers. Linda Kabani, a resident of Guguletu, which is situated along the N2 where the proposed wall will be built, said there has been no consultation between the city and residents. What has happened is that we heard from the news and the media that the city is planning to build a wall. If the city wants to build a wall, there must be a public participation process. Why? Why are governments held hostage to community activists? I don't think they should be held hostage. I don't want to see the wall. I don't agree with the wall. But I also agree that all of those townships, those people need to be relocated to the Eastern Cape or somewhere else. They shouldn't be there. They need to move to another spot. Those are dangerous eyesores, and people get killed there. Nothing but crime. Yeah. Senior KwaZulu-Natal civil servant has been caught after a high-speed chase for speeding, evading arrest, and drunk driving. Another intoxicated man and a minor girl were also in this state vehicle. So using government resources to drive drunk, speed, and carrying firearms. Look at that. A senior government official from KZN was carrying this 9mm. Look at that. A senior KZN government official who they won't mention, they just put a picture of him up there in case you recognize him in the shadows. Yeah, he's in hot water. Allegedly attempted to make a call to transport official to save him from being arrested. So he tried to use his influence to prevent being arrested. Realizing he was facing arrest, the official sped away in a state vehicle. After a dramatic chase, the official was cornered and arrested. In a vehicle, officials found alcohol, another intoxicated male, and a 17-year-old girl. A 17-year-old girl. Baby-faced cutie. The crap talkers like and other cockfights are crackheads, and that's why their heads are between their bums. Yep. He will be charged with drunk driving, exceeding the speed limit, failing to stop, reckless driving, possession of firearm while under influence. What about, diddling a 17-year-old girl? Is that part of the conversation too? Here they've covered up his name on the arrest paperwork. There you go. Officials using their influence. Kind of like the official in the States, that female deputy mayor, or the mayor was pulled over. I'm the mayor. Ah! You're going to jail, sweetheart. Yeah. Well, it's not just Africa. It happens everywhere. Well, another departure from South Africa's booming South African economy. Yes, that's right. Murray & Roberts. Over a century, this engineering firm has been there. It's exiting Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Yep. Murray & Roberts Holdings will leave the Johannesburg Stock Exchange in January, drawing the curtain on more than a century of one of South Africa's most storied engineering and construction groups that's in its final liquidation. Group said on Tuesday, the High Court had granted a final winding up order on October 27, leaving no prospect for any return to shareholders or the reestablishment of operations at a holding company level. Wow. They're being delisted. Murray & Roberts. Over a century, they were successful in South Africa, but not under the ANC and its racist laws. More than two, it's only fair we talk about the Western Cape, holiday merrymaking and arrest. We talked about KZN. Now it's time to talk about Gauteng. Over 200 motorists arrested for drunk driving in Joburg alone. Wow. Johannesburg Metro Police Department has announced that more than 200 motorists were arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol during the festive season. Well, the festive season is still going on, so what do you mean during? It's still happening, man. We are seeing very high numbers of accidents on the roads, and more people are being killed. It's our responsibility to ensure that this does not continue and that we reduce these numbers. Each arrest represents a potential tragedy averted and a commitment to protecting innocent residents and visitors. And to that, you got to give the traffic police credit. They definitely tried during the holiday season. They definitely make a big impact, and a lot of lives are saved. Well, the Bulls have finally decided to cut loose after blaming Jake Wyatt for the abysmal performance of the Bulls, despite the fact they got the 3 URC championships, 3 URC finals. They got 200 Jake Wyatt, but the players couldn't pull the trigger. And they blamed Jake Wyatt. Jake Wyatt was the problem, we were told. Jake Wyatt was the problem. What did I say from the very beginning? I defended Jake Wyatt. Jake Wyatt is a brilliant coach who did a brilliant job. And some of the players feel he's hurt because they're a bunch of little arrogant asses. Well, guess what? Now coaches are being let go because the Bulls continue to underperform. Yep, the struggling Bulls sacked coaches Becker and Rousseau. The Bulls have let go of their assistant coaches Chris Rousseau and Andreas Becker as the post-Jake Wyatt era clean-out takes effect. The duo looked after the backs and the forwards respectively, but after the Bulls lost their 5th consecutive match when they were down 21-12 by the Sharks, they were unfortunately at the end of the line. News 24 understands the two were called into a meeting Tuesday morning from where they were relieved of their duties. Rousseau, former Western Province and Stormers fly-half, was the longer-serving coach of the two, having joined the Bulls in 2019 after coaching at Stellenbosch. Becker, who played for the Springboks 29 times, joined the Bulls in 2023 on a contract that was set to run until 2026, but the new coaching sheriff in the form of Johan Ackerman in town, his time was also limited. It's understood that Ackerman was looking to bring in his own assistants, but was given the option to work with the available officials. The Bulls season has started well enough with 2 wins in the first 3 games, but the wheels came off in a defeat to Glasgow, which was the first of their 5 consecutive defeats. They tripped up twice in the Champions Cup to Bordeaux at home and Northampton Saints away before consecutive South African derby losses to the Lions at home, and Sharks left the Bulls season in tatters. So it's all Jake White's fault. Never was. It's the players. They are the problem. They are the problem. Well, Namibia's diamond exports now exceeding gold and uranium for the first time. Record gold and rising uranium output has made up for lower gem prices. Diamonds overtaken by gold. I misspoke. Yeah, diamonds overtaken by gold. Rissing, that's their big mine there. Windhoek. Namibia's diamond revenue has been surpassed by income from other minerals for its first time in its history, the country's mining chamber says. Record gold prices and higher uranium output offset the impact of weak diamond price, which is good because diamond prices have been soft. Diamond income has traditionally boosted Namibia's state coffers, accounting for 30% of export earnings, but the natural diamond industry has faced a price decline since 2022, owing to the popularity of lab-grown gems. Tax revenue from diamonds in the 6 months to September was down 79%. Wow, after falling 49% the previous year. But tax revenue on other minerals, mainly uranium and gold, rose to almost $3 billion Namibian dollars in the past financial year. And expect to pass $3.5 billion this year. Congratulations, Namibia. And gold price is having a big impact for you all. Well, Professor Gumeda says the ideologically bankrupt ANC persists with its foolish BEE. South Africa's economic crisis requires far more than recycling crude attempts at redistribution. And I have to tell you that Professor Gumeda is correct. Francois Ferreira, 10 Rand Super Chat. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. Clouds are gathering, indeed. South Africa is facing its biggest economic crisis since the end of apartheid. Bigger than COVID-induced economic crisis, despite glowing reports of economic green shoots by the government and some business leaders. And Professor Gumeda is spot on with this, Dr. Gumeda. Uganda is restricting the import of Starlink in advance of the election, suppressing free speech, not letting the people know what's going on. Boda Bodas, there you go, Boda Boda. Do you know the Boda Boda, folks? You ever seen the Boda Boda? Those dangerous little scooters that people got on. They're called Boda Boda because it's a bastardization of English, border to border, Boda Boda. Border to border, Boda Bodas. Yep. Uganda government has restricted imports of Starlink satellite internet equipment weeks before a national election, at which opposition fears the government will again impose an internet blackout. 81-year-old octogenarian fossil fascist President Yoweri Museveni will seek to extend his rule in the East African nation half a century after he took over. Nearly half a century. Wow. It's crazy. Crazy. More abducted Nigerian children have been freed, according to the government. A spokesman for the Nigerian government said that remaining students taken to Catholic school have been freed, but the local diocese said that only a second batch had been released. Who knows what's actually going on? Scores of school children remaining in captivity after being kidnapped at gunpoint last month have been released. Gunmen from an as-yet unidentified group seized 253 students, including nursery children as young as 4 and 12 staff members from St. Mary's Catholic School in Papire. 1 adult and 99 students were released 2 weeks ago. Spokesman for the Nigerian president said Sunday the remaining 130 school children had been freed, but a representative from the school said no, they haven't. So what's going on? Have they been freed or not? The African Development Bank is seeking donors after the U.S. decides it's not going to support it as much as it once did. They're targeting $25 billion in replenishment funds amid uncertainty over Washington's future contributions. You see, ladies and gentlemen, the big dirty secret is the African Development Bank has been funded by the American taxpayer for decades. We've been funding things. While Africa gets credit for supporting its own internal growth, it's been the U.S. taxpayer who's been funding much of what the African Development Bank has been providing. Of course, the African Development Bank, long headquartered in Cote d'Ivoire but forced to flee to Tunis for a number of years, is back in Cote d'Ivoire in Abidjan. But the African Development Bank, funded by the U.S., is in trouble because we are no longer giving free rides. Opened a donor pledging conference yesterday for its funds that lends money to low-income countries on favorable terms, seeking to offset a retreat in U.S. support that threatens its $25 billion budget. Earlier this year, the Trump administration withheld a $197 million tranche pledged in the previous replenishment round, raising doubts about Washington's contribution ahead of the two-day meeting in London. Africa's biggest development lender said the U.S. would send a representative to the talks, but it remained unclear whether it would commit funds. Yes, so the U.S. administration is one giving all the money. Trump administration has cut funding for several multilateral institutions. In May, it reduced support for the World Bank's International Development Association by $800 million to just $3.2 billion. Replenished every 3 years, the African Development Fund has provided $45 billion to 37 low-income countries since 1972. But where does that money come from? Much of it comes from American taxpayers. 7% of the previous development fund replenishment in 2022. So that money's not coming. So without the Americans, what are you going to do? We get no credit for that. Get a new keyboard there, love hate. What's wrong with your keyboard? Iran says it's detained 2,000 in an espionage probe. Wow, more political repression. Iran has arrested more than 2,000 people who it says were part of a foreign espionage network that orchestrated attacks on the country during a 12-day war with Israel. A large network of spies and enemy agents had been formed, and years of effort and heavy costs were spent to build it. He added authorities began arresting people connected to the alleged network before Iran's war with Israel in June and continued the crackdown afterwards. 2,000 of these agents were arrested. 2,000. That's implausible. Does anybody know how many resources are needed to devote to run one foreign agent? Do you know how much time, energy, and secrecy it takes to place one foreign agent? 2,000 foreign agents? These are just Iranians being arrested because they're opponents of the regime. 2,000 agents? Give me a break. This is just a joke. I mean, except it's not a joke. These people probably have been tortured, raped, and probably murdered in prison in the death squad state of Iran. Friends of the ANC, by the way, Iran. Milady Pandor's best friends. Well, Ukraine is in the dark after the latest Russian attacks. They hit their energy generation. Emergency power outages have been introduced in a number of regions, including Kiev and surrounding areas after Russia attacked energy facilities. At least 3 people in the Zhytomyr region, including a 4-year-old child, were killed. Dozens wounded across Ukraine in Russia's latest attacks. A 4-year-old child, which means the child was born just before the war started and never saw its end. Well, Greta Thunberg is back in the news, the world's favorite autistic child. Yes, Greta Thunberg arrested. She's not autistic. That was a sarcastic remark. Greta Thunberg was arrested in UK protest supporting Palestinian action prisoners. Why do people let her come to their country? Why don't they just keep her out? Send her back to Sweden. Sweden doesn't want her. Swedish retard Greta Thunberg was arrested after holding a sign that the police said showed support for Palestine action, which Britain banned this year. Miss Thunberg, the 22-year-old retard, joined a protest in London's financial district on Tuesday morning that opposed the treatment of people being held in prisons before trials relating to Palestine action activities. I support Palestine action prisoners. I oppose genocide, is what she said. There she is right there. Can't deny it. There she is holding the sign up. Can't deny it. In a statement, the City of London police said the 22-year-old woman had been arrested for displaying an item in support of a prescribed organization, contrary to Section 13 of the Terrorism Act of 2000. There you go. She is a fool of epic proportions. Denmark demands respect. Tiny Denmark, not known for anything other than its Danishes and North Sea oil and a Shakespeare play. Remember that one? Yes. Denmark demands U.S. respect its sovereignty after Trump deploys Greenland envoy. Oh, no. The government of Copenhagen has insisted on respect for its country's territorial integrity on Monday after the U.S. president appointed Louisiana governor as an envoy to Greenland under U.S. control. Hold on a second here. So the Europeans who are allying with the South African government, preaching the narrative of anti-colonialism and colonial powers and oppression of indigenous peoples. Greenland is not Danish territory. Denmark is Danish territory. Greenland is a colonial occupation by Vikings, turned over by Norway to Denmark without the consent of the population on the ground. The Danes are colonizers. They're colonizing Greenland, and they're calling it their territory? I'm sorry, I beg to disagree. Lars Løkke Rasmussen said in a statement that while the appointment confirms the continued American interest in Greenland, everyone, including the U.S., must show respect for the territorial integrity of the Kingdom of Denmark No, no, no. You're colonizers. Evil white people. Evil old white men. Yes. Yes, Denmark does make Legos. That's true. That's true. Trump says Greenland is essential for security. Could he take it by force? No. Al Jazeera thinks that Trump's going to invade Greenland. Oh, of course. Usaid Siddiqui. Yes, Usaid Siddiqui. President Trump has said the United States needs Greenland for its national security. We need Greenland for national security, told reporters. So will he take it? Will he take it? The Danish Prime Minister, Mette Frederiksen, and their Prime Minister, and Greenland's Prime Minister, Jens Frederik Nielsen, said, you cannot annex another country. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Have you heard of the Anschluss? Who stopped the Anschluss? 1938. You can annex another country. How do you think Ethiopia wound up with Eritrea? They annexed. Opposition leaders warned Albania has become a narco state. Well, that's surprising news, is it not? Look, it's one of the corrupt Biden officials, winking, blinking, and nod, one of the worst secretaries of state in the history of the Republic of the United States. A brazen gangland murder outside Albania's main airport last month has intensified fears that a NATO ally is sliding deeper into organized crime role, with opposition leaders warning the country is on the brink of becoming Europe's first true narco state. Gilmando Dani, leader of the Shuluzani criminal network, was killed in a hail of gunfire in broad daylight as he returned to Albania from Spain. In a video of the incident, a hit squad emerges from a parked vehicle to ambush the crime boss's luxury sedan. Shooters calmly confirm the victim is dead after a burst of automatic weapons fire and then flee the scene. Albanian branches of South American narco-terrorist cartels are currently the main transporters of this drug from South America to Europe. Well, Albania, long known for criminal activity, and now they're involved in that. So, here is another story that's just ridiculous, and I'm not going to play to their nonsense. Palestine Action Hunger Strikers launched legal action against UK government. Lawyers of the group threatened court proceedings as top ministers refused to meet them to discuss protesters' welfare. Amu Gib left has refused food for 50 days during their detention at HMP Bronzeville. I'm sorry. One person has been detained and it's there. I'm sorry. Anela Safdar, take your garbage back to whatever your first language was. And if it's English, then clearly you didn't learn the language. There is a plural. We're not going to play to your gender bullshit. This is a person. It's either he or she, his or her, not there. You get two people, then you can say there. Their friend, Nida, is calling on the government. No, her friend or his friend. Take your pick and rip that booger ring out of your nose while you're at it. Lawyers of imprisoned hunger striking activists linked to the protest group House Action put British government on notice. Imran Khan and Partners, which represents the collective, wrote a pre-claim letter to the government Monday warning they would seek a higher court order should officials fail to respond by Tuesday. 8 activists aged between 20 and 31 have participated in the rolling strike that began November 2nd. There are rising fears that one or more of them could soon die in jail. Well, that's sad. Our client's food refusal constitutes the largest coordinated hunger strike in British history since 1981, when IRA inmate Bobby Sands starved himself to death. 9 others also died of starvation. And what did they accomplish? Nothing. What will these idiots accomplish? Nothing. UK government has hospitalized them. They refuse to eat. That's their choice. Let them starve. The United States has struck another drug smuggling boat in the Eastern Pacific. U.S. military said Monday it had to conduct another strike against a boat it said was smuggling drugs in the Eastern Pacific. Southern Command said intelligence confirmed the low-profile vessel was transiting along known narco-trafficking routes in the Eastern Pacific and was engaged in narco-trafficking operations. Yep. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've heard for ages how Trump's tariffs were destroying America. We're hearing the narrative about affordability. We're hearing the narrative all over the place about how the MAGA base is fracturing, how America is in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. America is in trouble. Why is America in trouble? Because the economy is in the doldrums. People are upset about the high prices. Never mind the fact that the prices aren't really increasing now. They increased during Joe Biden's time. But, all the fake news. Now they have no choice but to tell you the truth. No choice but to tell you the truth. United States economic growth surged in the third quarter. Gross domestic product grew at a 4.3% annual rate, faster than the previous 3 months. 4.3%, folks, that's almost too fast. Almost too fast. 4.3% in an economy of $30 trillion plus, that's fast. Anything over 3.2 is very, very robust growth for an economy this size. 4.3%. U.S. economy grew at a vigorous pace. Even the New York Slimes has to tell the truth. Through the end of September, despite the uncertainty created by tariffs and widespread concerns about affordability among households. See? Economic growth rose at 4.3%. Shows the economy is mostly solid, actually still firing on most cylinders, if not all cylinders. Though I still think we have a lot of noise in the quarter-to-quarter data. Well, I agree on that. Wow. The third quarter readings showed that even in the face of negative consumer sentiment and a softening job market, the roughly $30 trillion economy started October on a relatively solid footing as a whole, outperforming the bearish expectations of some experts only months before. But not me! I didn't say we're going to collapse. I said we're going to be fine. The Department of Justice released more Epstein files, and people are still not happy. And they say that some of the documents contain false claims. 30,000 additional pages were released yesterday. Epstein files released, including nearly 30,000 additional pages, according to a DOJ statement posted on X, but it warned that some claims contained in documents were falsely made against President Trump. To be clear, the claims were unfounded and false, and if they had a shred of credibility, they certainly would have been weaponized against President Trump already. Nevertheless, our commitment to the law and transparency, the Department of Justice released these documents with the legally required protections for Epstein's victims. Yep, there you go. Epstein file update. Trump referenced in some newly released documents. Justice Department released another batch of documents from the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. Trump announced his plans for the new Navy battleship, part of his Golden Fleet. We're getting a new battleship, the Trump class, and one of them will be called the USS Defiant, just like Deep Space Nine. Yep. President Trump has announced a bold plan for the Navy to build new large warship that he's calling a battleship as part of a larger vision to create a Golden Fleet. Why are they putting quotes around battleship? Is it not a battleship? They're going to be larger and longer than World War II era battleships like the USS Iowa and the Arizona. So why are they putting quotes around battleship? It's a battleship. The United States military has had its best recruiting numbers in 15 years under Pete Hegseth. Wow, U.S. military in fiscal year 25 achieved its best recruiting numbers in 15 years. Blockbuster recruiting figures will bolster the argument made by President Trump Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth that the approach of the Trump administration is simply to push to roll back what critics view as left-wing woke policies is working. People want to serve in uniform, not in pronouns. U.S. Customs Immigration Service is rolling back a program that has been widely abused. Domestic abuse program rule for immigrants after fighting rampant fraud. Self-petitions under the program had jumped 360% between 2020 and 2024. Yep. Naveen Anthrapouli. U.S. Citizenship Immigration Service is updating its policies related to the Violence Against Women Act following concerns about rampant fraud being committed by immigrants applying for the program. U.S. citizens and lawful permanent residents who wish to bring family members to the United States through the family-based immigration policies must file petitions to sponsor their relatives. However, this creates a situation where the petitioner could abuse the immigrant family members by threatening to withhold the petition. Yep. It was passed in 1994 as aimed to resolve the problem. It allows immigrants who have been abused by their U.S. citizen or lawful partner relatives to independently self-petition for immigration classification without the abuser's knowledge. But it's been abused. We saw a 2,239% increase in parents submitting these self-petitions from 2020 to 2024. Wow. These have not traditionally been populations filing for this. Unqualified aliens abused the program. It caused significant delays. So they're going to suspend the program. That's what happens when people ruin it for others. Hey, let's take a look at where people are deported, folks. But before we get to that, let me take a look at the health of the stream. See how we're doing over here. How's the stream doing? We currently have 498 people. Oh, wow. I thought we had 500, 550. Some people left. Shame, 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 shame. Anyway, back to the news. Let's get back to the news. Hey, check out this New York Times graphic. Pretty groovy. Pretty groovy. Check it out. New York Times. These are the people who are leaving the country. The deportation machine. The Immigration Customs Enforcement has moved thousands of people through detention and out of the country. Look where they're going. Lots of Latin America, but not exclusively. Look at that. Look where they're flying all these criminals. Getting rid of them. Stories by Raj Saha, Zach Levitt, and Albert Sun. Almost no Anglo-Saxons. 23,000 removals per month. After they're arrested, they're moved to detention centers, then transferred far from where they were apprehended. Of course. Got to keep them off balance. You can't have criminals floating around. 3/4 of people who are deported go to Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. Most of the rest go to South America and the Caribbean. Deportations in the rest of the world have doubled compared with last year. Monthly flow under Biden, interior arrests, and border arrests. Border arrests are down for Trump, and the deportations are up. Well, look at those numbers. They're not that different. Expedited removal, 19,000 under Biden, 11,000 under Trump. Standard removal, 11,000 under Trump, 4,000 under Biden. It comes out to about the same numbers. Actually, more by Biden, 23,000 versus 22,000. That's odd, but Trump is the big deporter. It looks like Biden deported a lot of people too, despite bringing a lot of people in. Lots of Venezuelans being removed. Look at that. So here is some of the images. Where they're being arrested: Miami, New York, Minneapolis, Chicago, L.A., Houston. 5,000 in Houston. Here are the detention centers. One in Pennsylvania holding 1,500 of these criminals. And you can see where they're being flown. Boy, Louisiana's getting a lot of attention there. This is where they're sent to. 10,000 per month going to Mexico, Egypt, India, China, Russia, Vietnam, UK, Ireland. See that? We're kicking out the white people too, man. Illegals. Canada. There you go. 1,030 criminal illegal aliens have been arrested in an ICE operation honoring Laken Riley, the murdered American. More than 1,030 criminal illegal immigrants have been arrested under the Laken Riley Act as part of Operation Angel's Honor, Immigration Customs Enforcement stated. A 14-day nationwide operation is now concluded. According to ICE, among the criminals arrested as part of the operation, a 37-year-old Peruvian illegal immigrant with a criminal history of rape and assault, a 24-year-old illegal Nicaraguan who was previously arrested for assaulting an officer, a 27-year-old Mexican illegal immigrant convicted of sexually exploiting a child, and a 40-year-old El Salvadorian illegal immigrant who was earlier arrested for assault and battery on a pregnant victim. Now these criminals will face justice and be removed from our country. We can never bring Laken back, but we can do everything in our power to bring these heinous criminals to justice. Agreed. Long overdue. Long overdue. It should be a full-time operation. United States Customs Immigration Service issued 196,000 alien removal notices this year. Also referred more than 14,000 to ICE due to fraud, national security, and public safety concerns. Wow. Under DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, USCIS has been actively collaborating with other agencies on immigration enforcement public safety efforts. Yep. Get them out. Get them out. Get them out. Heritage Foundation is losing lots of its scholars to a Mike Pence-led group. That's interesting. Mike Pence comes back from the dead. Josh Blackman resigns from Heritage, says judges. Contributors distance themselves. A steady drip of departure from the Heritage Foundation turned into a cascade Monday as legal luminary Josh Blackman resigned and more than a dozen scholars and staff moved to a competing organization founded by former Vice President Mike Pence. Advancing American Freedom announced the arrival of 3 former Heritage members and 10 former fellows and staff members. Wow. As well as the creation of the Edwin Meese Institute for the Rule of Law. Interesting. Huh. The excess of leading foundation figures and the decision by Mr. Meese to throw his support behind a second think tank shows the uproar over President Kevin Roberts' decision or defense of Tucker Carlson isn't over. Yeah, Heritage Foundation screwed up defending Tucker Carlson's behavior. Not popular with conservatives. The Treasury Secretary is targeting money services. I guess MoneyGram and Western Union, things like that. Wise. Treasury Department has announced a wide-scale enforcement operation targeting more than 100 money services businesses operating the U.S.-Mexico border as part of the Trump administration's campaign to disrupt cartel money laundering. Wow. Interesting. So they're going after them. 87,000 suspicious activity reports submitted of 1,000 currency transactions. That's 8.7% were suspicious. Wow. In March, they had a temporary order requiring money service businesses in 30 zip codes in California and Texas to report cash transactions as small as $200, down from the longstanding $10,000 threshold. That move triggered lawsuits from border area businesses which argued the requirement was arbitrary, burdensome, and harmful to legitimate commerce. In June, a federal judge granted temporary restraining orders shielding those 2 El Paso businesses. But the bottom line is that they are doing it. White House economists' proposals coming soon on the $2,000 tariff rebate checks. A reduction in U.S. government debt and economic growth are the reasons for the checks, says the head of the National Economic Council. Top White House economic officials said it appears that more and more likely Trump administration will be sending out $2,000 tariff rebate checks that would bring the proposal in 2026. Well, I don't know that this is a wise move. Just cut our taxes by $2,000, but we'll see what happens there. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you with us still at this hour, 489 of you, that's the news for today, the penultimate day before Christmas, the next to last day, the 23rd of December, 2025. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but expropriation is property, not land. Cars, stocks, jewelry, Buc-ee's, condos, flats, homes, land, all of that is property, and they're going to go for it. Edwin Meese is still around. He's a blast from past from the Reagan era. That's right. How old is Meese? He must be like 90 now. I thought he died, to be honest. Edwin Meese. He must be up there. Yeah, he's up there. He's in his 90s. Yeah. Edwin Meese was born in 1931. 94 years old. Yep. He graduated from college in 1953. 53. Good Lord. Wow. Edwin Meese. Yep. It's all over Tucker Carlson. I mean, Edwin Meese looked old when this is when he served with Reagan in the 80s. He looked old then. Look at this picture. What is going on here? Oh, my phone. I thought somebody sent me a bunch of messages over here. Sorry. What is going on? Oh, boy. Sorry, folks. That was the Veterans Organization. Somebody's making a donation to us. Let's see. 34, about 50,000 rand. But they just told me about it. They told me it'd be in at 12:15. It's 12:22. I'm not following the narrative. Look at the current standing of the country. Look at the narratives pushed by the government. Then compare the events. Okay, I'm not sure what we're talking about there. Looks good. What looks good? I'm sure that Clinton has mentioned. Why isn't someone else's responsibility for mental care? Yeah, exactly. Some have seen photos have been blacked out. Girls' faces have been on the internet for years. Some released by the victims themselves to prove they were there. They're not protecting the victims. Well, you say that, but they still have an obligation to do so. So I don't care. Look, just because somebody's released something doesn't mean that you confirm it. You know, the famous phrase for intelligence officials is, I can neither confirm nor deny that that's true. Neither confirm nor deny that it's true, just because it's been out there. So, for instance, people speculated for years that the U.S. government was spying on people with satellites, that we're spying on the Soviet Union. But as an intelligence official, we couldn't confirm that. Not until President Carter inadvertently disclosed it and made it unclassified that we used satellites to eavesdrop on the Soviets were we able to say that. But for years, people speculated in the press that it was true. And I get your point. The pictures have been released before, but that really isn't the point. The government still has a responsibility. So if you don't like that, then you don't understand the responsibility of the government. And redacting things is a reason for that. Fernall says, okay, I get that. But hopefully, okay, what are you guys talking about? I can't find a conversation. You guys are chatting with each other. I don't know what you're talking about. Aurora doesn't care. He worked for overseas companies. They can do what they want. I plan for exit. Well, that's unfortunate. Some people got to live there still. Interracial married couples in South Africa increasingly common, reflecting post-apartheid societal shifts with multiracial households rise significantly. That's true too, but not according to the South African government, which continues to deny the reality of it. Rossi Aladasi. What are you talking about? Just came off the phone to a farmer. They're finding the foot and mouth disease a challenge because there's no control. Many farmers no care attitude. Yep. We also did understand that there were many interracial married couples, also the married class. Why are we talking about interracial couples? Where did that topic come from? I don't recall mentioning that. It's not so much just a pity that sign doesn't indicate her mental capacity. Oh, that's back to Greta Thunberg. I see News 24 just now. South Africa can expect more bullying from President Trump. 26. Not sure how they put together their headlines. Well, I haven't seen that. Let me look that up real quick. News 24. Let me get over to that very quickly here, folks. News 24 and see what's going on at News 24. Where the heck is my news at? That's not it. News 24. Do they have a new headline? Let me take a look and see. Well, I did a video, which they probably come with this video, from currency to kickback. South Africa Airlines probe extended by 2 decades. That's old news, too. I already covered that 2 days ago. Revealing Twitter boss, the ex-boar who wasn't. Again? They're going after him again? These people are demented. Activist Renee Thompson dies a week after fulfilling her PhD dream. Okay. Gender activist and researcher died after a lifelong dream of earning a PhD. I don't know anything about her. So they're running this story again about Twitter boss. I don't see anything about the story you're talking about on News 24. I'm on News 24 right now. Here's News 24. Let me show you this here. I need that one there. News 24, that's what they have. Let me just go to South Africa and see what comes up that way. Nothing shows up there. Nope. See, that's what I get. So let's go to this story. You may be wondering these holidays around the braai, hey, I can't remember, but what set off the Trump administration 25 to punish South Africa with tariffs, a White House press ambush, and a ghosting of the G20? Okay, first off, it wasn't a White House ambush. They begged for the meeting. Trump gave the meeting a short notice. I mean, and then the asshole showed up 45 minutes late. Okay, no, not one factor, person or organization is to blame for the sour relations between Washington. Oh, yes. One factor is the ANC. Instead, a disinformation war waged online using X and other social media sites worked in concert with to drive a disingenuous and false claim that whites are being subjected to genocide and South Africa. See, once again, they're the ones running that story about genocide, not us. One account at the center of it helped bring the narrative to Elon Musk's attention. Elon Musk is not the reason. These idiots still think Elon Musk is the reason for this. Wow. News 24 regurgitating fake news, disinformation, which is what they're so good at. That is what they excel at, disinformation, the misinformation network. Yep. Civil lawsuit against Bill Gates, amongst others, in the Netherlands over code. I didn't know that. Didn't know about that. What's the case against Bill Gates? What did he have to do with it? Reminds me of my previous commander. Threats like keeps telling you the worst. What are you talking about? What threats? I'm not making any threats. You must be talking about something else. Bulls coach of Bull. When there are no slaves to tax, what are you going to do? Yeah. Anyone going to be Uppington? Haven't seen a more beautiful South Africa. Clean, prosperous, friendly. I've been to Uppington, Alice Talliard, yes, a few times. And the last time I went all the way up to Rabi's Falls, which was pretty cool. Yep. Tax base is shrinking, yep. Huge problems with corruption. Okay, true. All right, well, you guys have chatted about a bunch of stuff. Luderitz, thank you for sharing that. Becky Harvitt, just say the world is getting rough now. You're turning 60. Well, congratulations on turning 60. These days, that's an accomplishment. You see it here that it will be the last day for the Afrikaners in South Africa to have the vow. That's Gate McKenzie talking out his rectum. He doesn't know what he's talking about. They're not going to stop the day of the vow. Geloof de dag will continue. Yes, News 24 takes first prize for irresponsible journalism misinformation. Anyway, people drive me nuts here, this stuff, folks. Anyway. Kyle Callan, the guy who works on his knees. He didn't say Cockprat 24 journalist. He said journalist. Being paid, yep. But not everyone is in a position to fight back, even if you have the correct knowledge. They do have power. They have the monopoly on the use of force. Victor Morgan says, sorry I'm late. Always interesting and informative. Waking up because we're getting out with new issues every day. Yep. Hang on. Okay, so hang on a second. Oh my goodness, these people. Yeah, he can only smile at Gate and suck at Mancy. He knows he's too white for the anti engine. Advent. We haven't changed this yet. So let's change all this stuff 2 days before. Thank you for that before I wrap up because people are disrupting my news with this veteran stuff. Today is the 23rd, so it should be easy to find. Nothing left here. There's the 24th. There's the 23rd. Got it. And it is another bell. Oh, that's not a bell. That is a. It's a truck. Oh, it's a Bucky with. I don't know what's in the back of it. Pile of manure or gold. I don't know. That's a Bucky there. Okay, take care of that. And the Kinder Chocolata again. 24th. What do we have here? Don't see 24 anywhere. What's going on here? There's 23. Oh, today's 23. That's why I can't see 23. Because that's today. Egg. Okay. And our final one. Okay, so the last one is on the 23rd. Here you go. Tomorrow's the 24th. We get our last chocolate. And it's Christmas Day. Don't forget, folks, programming announcement. I will be live on Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. That's a Christmas tree. And on Boxing Day, we'll do a program. So hopefully you can beat last year's totals, which were pretty low. 1,500 people. Let's go with gold on the back of the Bucky. Yeah, I like gold better than poo. Your belief in thinking someone has power over you is your downfall. You're not the slave. Why do you think like that? I don't think like that. What are you talking about? Colonel Hawk spread truth to us South Africans. Who's Colonel Hawk? How are you supposed to read my lips if I hide him? Yeah, well, I am hiding on purpose. You didn't need to know what I said to them. You get a toy in the Kinder Advent calendar. No, there's no toys, just a candy, in which I haven't eaten. The Kinder Chocolate I don't really care for. So it's just piling up here. The other ones, I'll eat the chocolate, yes. Audie Murphy. Audie Murphy's dead. What are you talking about? Yep, anyway. Late, always listening and informed. Thank you for being here, Victor Morgan. Okay. All right. Well, I hope everybody's having a good day and a good Christmas, and I wish you all the very best. Hey, Fleshin, watching Christmas shows are a bit hard with all the family around. Well, it depends, Fleshin. I do them at times when people are done playing around with family, and so we'll see how it goes. At the moment, farmers want to deliver coupons at the ANC's door. Huh? Oh, had nothing to do with me. I didn't think it did. It didn't make any sense. Your time and your help and updates. Appreciate your time and keeping us updated. My pleasure. Christmas is a special day for people. Most people spend it with their loved ones. No social media for me at Christmas. Well, that's fine, Napoleon Dynamite. But a lot of people don't have anyone to spend it with, and that's why I do a broadcast. That's why I do a broadcast, because there's a lot of people that don't have anyone. And it's nice to have a place for them to go on Christmas. So that's what I do. I sacrifice my time to spend time with folks. And traditionally, to be fair, it got kind of exciting because Christmas was the biggest Super Chat day of the year. I don't think that's going to happen this year because the biggest Super Chat day this year was the day that Raul Maposa took his dog and pony show to the Oval Office. That was an embarrassment for him. If you're enjoying the fest season, especially since you've been working hard for us. Love, hate. I'm not really enjoying it. I'm enjoying the interaction with my audience, but I'm not really enjoying the season. I'm in a lot of pain right now from different situations, so unable to exercise, and I'd like to exercise. Exactly, Beulah. Some people don't have any family to spend with, so I'll be there. Okay, I don't have a treat or present, so might as well catch a live. There you go. There you go, James. I'll see you. Yeah, go. You guys don't have to tell if you're going to be here. Look, I mean, if people come, that's great. If they don't come, I'm just hoping it's better than last year. Last year was 1,500. Last year was very disappointing. I haven't even contacted Dr. Peter Hammond. It's a bit late to ask him to come on the show. I might do it. So, yeah, he's fantastic. I love chatting with him on Christmas Day. He's a wonderful person. Dr. Peter Hammond from the Western Cape, originally from Rhodesia. Yep. All right, guys. That's going to wrap it up for here. Okay. I'll be in. Hang on a second here. Oh, my TSA membership expires. Interesting. Okay, hang on a second here. I'm looking for this. I need to send a message out to someone. All right, so happy Christmas and Merry New Year. Somebody's been drinking already. I believe they're going to Bill Gates in a lawsuit due to the part he played in promoting the COVID jab. Yeah, but you promoting it. I mean, how can you sue him over that? I don't understand that. Thank you for answering WhatsApp with a video, says Sanel. I don't even remember which one it was, Sanel. I answer a lot. A lot of people send me WhatsApps, and I make videos off of it because it's a lot of people asking me the same question. So, same to you, Chris. Have a beautiful Christmas. May God bless you and all you've done for the people of South Africa. Well, thank you for that. Yep. All right. All right. What's going to happen is I'm going to end my broadcast. I'm going to go in there, and there's going to be nobody there. And then the people are going to complain at us because we didn't show up. Oh, my goodness. Next year, prep a meal and pick up homeless vets. Prep a meal and pick up homeless vets. Pick homeless vets from what? From where? Yes, we'll be doing Ronaldo tomorrow, unless Ronaldo begs off. He hasn't said anything. Been a blast being part of this channel. Thank you, Harold. Appreciate that. Oh, the Wyatt Army song. You guys want to hear that? All right, let's see how many people disappear when I play the Wyatt Army song. What Reuters article? What are you talking about, Reuters article? Where's, I mean, I don't, what is that? You put a comment, a Reuters article. I don't know what that is. Yes, I'll be in my Santa outfit. I got to dig it out today. I need to wear it tonight to the Veterans Organization. Oh, you applied for your Social Security number today. Congratulations to you. Okay. Desert Rose, thank you. Yep, Chris, know what you're talking about. Family, spending Christmas together, our daughter and family in Christchurch. Oh, there you go. All right, you guys, all for Christmas. Okay, I'll play it. Oh, yeah, no, Mark, I got what you said, but, I mean, pick them up, what? Bring them to my home? Is that what you're getting at? I don't know any homeless vets. I don't know one homeless person in this entire county. There's probably more, but I know one person. And she's homeless. She's rich. She's homeless intentionally. She's got a few screws loose, unfortunately. Apply May 22, but we'll probably hopefully be in the Estates May. Then wait another year to become here. No. You don't wait a year to become a U.S. citizen. Let's clarify that very quick before I disappear here, okay? Here's the deal. As a refugee, you come to America. If you obey our laws, after 5 years, you can apply. After 5 years, you can apply to become a U.S. citizen, which is faster than most people. Most people have to wait 7 years. You can apply after 5 years. You don't become a citizen immediately. You have to take the test. You have to go through the process. You have to be scheduled. Normally, around 6 years or maybe a little bit longer, you become a citizen if you pass all that. But you're not going to become a citizen 1 year. You can get permanent residency after 1 year. You can apply for permanent residency after 1 year, which is something I was told I was wrong about, and people lied about me and slandered me. All right, cool. Oh, you became a member again today. If your credit card hacked, need to contact you. Send me an email then, Paul DeClerc. And you see that if you get it within a certain period before the time expires, you still maintain your avatar. See, you've still got the Statue of Liberty. Okay, well, thank you, Professor G. I don't know what Professor G is talking about. What's Professor G? What articles? He hasn't said anything to me. I have no message from Professor G. Okay, is it justification for an Afrikaner state? Is that the one? Is that the one you're talking about? I mean, I don't know. I'm asking you guys.
Goeiedag, mijn naam is Evan, ex-immigratieprocureur hier in Amerika.
Okay, I don't know what that is. So, anyway. All right, I'll play the song and then we'll get out of here, okay? Thank you, guys. Merry Christmas to everybody. Don't despair. If you're going to be here tomorrow or tonight, I'll see you again. Yep.
The Wyatt Army marches on.
Thanks, Quiz.
For decades in the uniform, he held the line so tight, defending freedom everywhere from morning into night. From Europe down to Africa, the Middle East and home, the colonel hung his boots up, thought he'd rest his weary bones. He looked upon the world today, the chaos and the noise, and saw the messy circus of the digital decoys. He couldn't sit in silence, no, he couldn't look away. He waited in the battle, ready for a brand new day. They tried to shut the signal down, the shadow and the band, but you cannot stop the spirit of a mission-driven man. Folks took notice of the voice, the clarity, the spark, and gathered round the fire. He lit inside the dark, and the Wyatt Army marches on. The signal is steady, the confusion is gone. We don't need the fancies from the leftist side. We've got the colonel and the truth as our guide. Yeah, the Wyatt Army marches on until the fake news twilight turns to dawn. We see the objective, we know where we belong. The Wyatt Army marches on. From the loyal subscribers to the trolls beneath the bridge, to the hate wankers hiding on the digital ridge. It matters not who's listening, the evil or the kind, because the colonel's got the drive to open up the mind. Legacy media serving up the lens of lies and fake, but we shatter all the mirrors for the future's sake. Energy and enthusiasm breaking through the screen, the sharpest moral clarity the world has ever seen. They tried to shut the signal down, the shadow and the band, but you cannot stop the spirit of a mission-driven man. We see the objective, yeah, we see it crystal clear. The army is assembled and the victory is here. And the Wyatt Army marches on. The signal is steady, the confusion is gone. We don't need the fantasies from the leftist side. We've got the colonel and the truth as our guide. Yeah, the Wyatt Army marches on until the fake news twilight turns to dawn. We see the objective, we know where we belong. The Wyatt Army marches on. The Wyatt Army marches on. He served the flag with honor, he served it well. Now he serves the truth, saving us from hell. No stymie to his pace, no slowing of the stride, with the Wyatt Army marching right by his side. Truth will triumph.
Merry Christmas, folks. Have a lovely day. God bless and cheers.